Hi, this will be my last video. It's the end and the final of our story. So, like now revealed, the Child Protection Service in Ringsaker was after us. Their office is in Brumunddal city. And so we had this letter from the doctor. We had so we shown them that our child was, everything was fine. We had evidence from the city itself, from something called the kindergarten portal, where you have to kind of, it's a log every time you apply to get your child into a kindergarten. So we sent that all the times we applied, and it didn't go through because some system error. So we sent that log to the Child Protection Service as well as evidence. And like I said, the Child Protection Services, they didn't care. They just disregarded it. They had made up their mind, and they didn't care. Also, the Child Protection Services knew that the Statsforvalter had already clamped down and taken the kindergarten, so they knew that a whole report from them was illegal and wrong. So they knew that as well. So they basically didn't have anything. And with the letter from the doctor, they knew the nurse and her report was wrong and stuff too. So they already knew all this, but they were not in any way backing down. Even they knew they didn't have any evidence, any concrete to go on. So they were still going, and they wanted to force us into a kindergarten with our son. Not that we said no to that, we tried, but in that time we were already in a moving process. So my house was already out for sale. We started to sell things at our home and get rid of things. And throw away things and so on. So we were already in the process of moving, and everybody know if you are moving in a couple of 1, 2, 3 months, you don't start your kid in a kindergarten, and the kid might go there for 2 weeks or 1 month. If you're super lucky, 1.5 months in a kindergarten, and then you have to quit because you move, and then the kid have to start in a new kindergarten again. That's a little much for a kid, and especially a kid that is 4 years old. It's absolutely not good for any child with so much change in such a little time. So in that short time, it's not good. And I told that to the Barnevern. They called me. So it was one girl named Monica. She called, and she was very persistent. She was the one that wrote all these reports after our talks and home visits, and the reports were constantly full of errors, full of mistakes, and she wrote down things that were not true and so on. So she was after us from the beginning, and in that phone call I said to her that as a dad, it is my responsibility to do what's best for my child. So right now, the best thing is for us to move and then start them in the kindergarten there, compared to start here for maybe 2 weeks or 1 month, and then we move and then you have to start a new one. It's going to be really messy for him and not good at all. And that is my decision. Then she said, I disagree. And then I told her, well, that just go to show me and everybody else how little you actually know about children, how little education you have, how little knowledge you have, and not to mention how little empathy you have for children. So this was starting to me to get all about power. Then a little later we got a letter. So that we got a letter from them on March 15. Actually, that was the day I got the letter on email. And I read it, and in that letter they said come to a meeting on March 20 with a lawyer. Then I knew that I never had a letter like that before, so then I knew now they're gonna take the child. So then I, without say to anyone, I just went on my computer and ordered tickets for March 19, and we left March 19. Then we left Norway. So March 20, we were supposed to have that meeting. And then I just we landed in Vietnam March 20, so we were already in Vietnam. Then I sent an email to the Child Protection Services, and I said, sadly, we cannot attend the meeting today because we have moved to Asia in Vietnam. We live in Vietnam now. We are not in Norway, and we cannot attend any meeting there. And also there is no point because we don't live there. We're not gonna live there. So that go out. Then on March 21, we did, so the day after, we got a new email, a letter. So that was a decision that the Child Protection made that now we're gonna take your son. And I was like, okay, you can take our son, but he's not in Norway. He's in fucking Asia. Then you have to fly to Asia, and you're never gonna get him here because Vietnam don't have any exchange deals with Norway. So you're not gonna get him. Simple as that. You're fucked, and we are home free. Nothing you can do about it. Now they started to understand that. Then they got pissed off, and I did talk to that Linda on SMS. So they saw I had a Vietnamese phone number. She gave my number to that Monica. Monica then called some Vietnam. She probably Googled something, Child Protection Service or something in Vietnam. And mind you, this was in later. So it wasn't in March. This was in May. So some time had gone, and I had the lawyer and the Child Protection Services had already closed the case. But still, that Monica in May did call a Child Protection Service here in Vietnam, or at least she thought so. I didn't answer the phone. My wife called to that woman again. That woman did not answer the phone by telling her name. She did not say she was from a government office. And that means she was not from a government office. She was maybe a private company hired in by the Child Protection Service, maybe. Or maybe she wasn't in the Child Protection Service at all. Maybe she's just a scam. We don't know. But still, without knowing this, that Monica from Brumunddal Child Protection Service, she actually called some random person in Vietnam that she don't know who is, don't know what she do, don't know if she is with the government, working for the government as a subcontractor, or if she just a scam artist. We don't know, she don't know. And she gave actually my personal info to some random stranger in Vietnam, and she gave also my son's personal information. And that is really crazy because she could actually put us in danger. I mean, we are in Southeast Asia, and the kids of I would say mixed kids, yes. So when a Vietnamese and a Western have a child, you get a mixed child. So mixed kids, they are a little what should I say, people like them a lot, and they are in a danger of getting kidnapped. For one, they are kidnapped, trafficked. It happened. I'm sorry to say, it does happen. Children are kidnapped and trafficked and used for many bad reasons. And the Child Protection Service in Norway did not have the brains to actually understand the seriousness of just picking up the phone, Google some shit, and picking up the phone and believe everything is right on Google. It's internet. It's not everything right and correct there. That again show how little education and knowledge this woman have. Monica at the Brumunddal Child Protection Service. She is dumb as a cow. She don't understand the internet. She don't understand safety or security. She don't understand cultures and other countries at all. She is absolutely living under a rock. And she also had this personal grudge because after our lawyer closed the case, that was in April, she still couldn't let this go. She had to kind of harass us even in Vietnam. She had to keep this harassing coming. So that is harassment and not a breach of the law. It's illegal in Norway to harass people. Harassment is by law illegal. So they broke the human rights. They violated the human rights. They violated the International Child Convention. They did tamper with these reports, make false reports, which is illegal, falsify official documents. And then the last thing, harassment. She harassed us as a family. So that woman is completely and utterly crazy. And her name is Monica, and I don't care. She need to be named and shamed because she is totally crazy. And to call somebody and risk putting us in danger. I mean, this is the Child Protection Service in Norway. They actually flaunt themselves. They're marketing themselves with saying, we are doing what's in the child's best interest. Now, how the fuck it is in the best interest of putting a child in danger? That is the 100% opposite of what it actually is. But this goes to show how much they lie, how much they tamper with the reports, and how much they actually don't care about evidence. We decide something, and then we're gonna keep going on that line. We're not gonna change. We're never gonna admit we did wrong. We're never ever gonna give any children back once we've taken them. This is the line of the Child Protection Services in Norway, and we felt it very, very hard, very upfront, and this is the truth. So now my wife was smart, and we never heard more from that woman here in Vietnam. So we are good and live happily. But it goes to show that this Monica, she actually had a personal grudge against me, or maybe my wife, or both of us. But it was never actually about our child. We proved our child was healthy, good, and normally developed and everything. But they didn't care. They needed to take us on something because they just wanted to show we are stronger than you. We are the government. We're gonna win. We're gonna use our power. And it was a power abuse. That too is actually illegal in Norway. So they broke in here harassment. That is one law. Falsifying reports and documents. That two laws. And then you have the power abuse. That is three laws broken. Then you have the human rights, and then you have the International Child Convention, and they broke in every fucking thing. So that Child Protection Services in Brumunddal, they actually don't care about the laws, international laws, Norwegian laws. They don't care. They are very dangerous, and if you live in that area and you have children and the Child Protection Services call you, get the hell out of there. And the city itself, they don't do anything to rectify it or make it better. They actually don't care. They just want things to go away quietly, that's all. So when I make these videos and put it on internet, I complain to the Statsforvalter. I even sent all the emails I sent to the Statsforvalter. I also did send a copy to the Minister of Children and Families, Kjersti Toppe. She never replied one email, never. Her department never ever replied one email to me either. And it goes to show that the minister and her department, they actually know about this. They cannot say they don't, but they choose to not do one damn thing to make it better. Not one thing. They choose. This is maybe the order from the Prime Minister Støre. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's her own. I don't know, and I will never know. But I do know that the Minister of Children, the top boss in Norway, she didn't actually care one bit. And that is a fact, because she got lots of emails from me and she didn't reply one. Not even her department. She had people work for her, secretaries, her department. She have a whole department. Many people work for her. One of them could reply, but none of them did. Not one single one. So that is our story. And I will again mention that Monica, she was utterly crazy. She did work with two other girls, one named Eli and one named Ann-Stina. utterly crazy people at Brumunddal Child Protection Services. The leader, Cought, no, the second leader, or the assistant leader manager there, Cought, he was I don't know, a whipped man, and he didn't do anything. He was a joke. He was just a joke. And the leader there herself, the old woman, she is a very bad leader to actually have people like that work for her and an organization run like that. That show actually a very, very bad leader. Female leader that absolutely is not cut out for the job. She is not cut out to be a leader. She is a woman. She cannot make good decisions, and she might be a feminist that hating men as well. But you know, it's not a good mix. So that Brumunddal Child Protection Services, they are a very bad office, maybe even the worst in Norway. And that goes to say a lot. Maybe even the worst Child Protection Services office in Norway. That you find in Brumunddal city in Ringsaker kommune. It's crazy. But again, I will say to everyone that watch my movies, look out if you get a phone call from Brumunddal or Ringsaker Child Protection Services, and the names on there are Eli or Monica or Ann-Stina, then you need to run, because these people don't change their minds. And even if they don't have anything to take you on, they still gonna try to make up something. They falsify reports, they try to fabric some evidence that is nothing, but they don't give up. They're not gonna let you go, and they will take your child. And I've seen it, I can prove it, and like I say, we have all recordings, we have all the letters, all the emails, we can prove it. There is no doubt. So stay very clear of these people. Stay very clear of these crazy people. So yeah, now I'm done. Our story is done, and it show how much, like, even after my lawyer was there and the Child Protection Service had to let it go, they lost in the Nemd, and the Statsforvalter took the nurse and they took the kindergarten. Still, that Monica couldn't let it go, and she actually did call somebody in Vietnam, and she might have put us at danger. And I'm still shocked about that, how you work and you're supposed to protect children and you do exact the opposite. You actually, instead of protect them, you put a huge risk about putting children in danger. So I'm not gonna say more, but that is Monica and Monica's doing. She is utterly crazy. She have very little knowledge, very little experience outside that little farm area. Brumunddal is a city with approximately a population of 12,000 people. I mean, this wouldn't be a city anywhere in the world because it's so tiny. Everybody there are farmers, and I know I said it again and again. If you grow up around cows, then you're probably good with cows. But it doesn't mean you're good with people. Do not sit there as a social worker. When you a social worker in America, England, Australia, even in Asia, when they study, they need 50% correct to just pass their exam. But in Norway, you can get away with 38 or 40% correct to pass your exam. So actually, it's lower requirements in Norway than in the rest of the world. That means these women, they actually do not have much knowledge, not much education, and they still think they are right over. I'm not very educated. I just have a bachelor degree in psychology, and but they still know better than me, of course, and they know better than a doctor, a specialist. They know better than a family doctor, and they know better than lawyers, because they simply, that's how it is. They are so stubborn. They think they know best. Now that goes that's how it is when you're raised on a farm. You get very stubborn and you don't know much about the world and other cities around, and that's what meet you in Brumunddal Child Protection Service. It's a bunch of rednecks, and they are not very smart, and they do a lot of injustice, and they should just be fired. And I mean, not just fired because they break these laws and do so much wrong and break up and destroy so many families. They should actually be prosecuted and go to jail. That would be a victory for justice. So that is my take on it. And again, I will leave that at this. This is my last video. It won't be any more. I'm done. I told the story, and I just hope now that people that live in this area or consider living in this area think 100 times more, because it is dangerous there with these people. They are so narrow-minded, and they don't understand much. They don't want to understand either. And I'm sure if they go travel to Thailand or to Spain or whatever, they behave like idiots, and they don't try to understand the culture. They don't try to understand people because they think they are over other people. I mean, Asia is the biggest continent on the planet. Asia have billions of people. There is, but still, little Norway with 5.4 million people. That's the population of all of Norway. So Norway country have a population of 5.4 million people. Vietnam is almost exact same area on the country, and Vietnam have a population of over 100 million. But still, in Norway, the Norwegians are over the Vietnamese. We know better than the Asians. No, we actually don't. All the technology, everything is made in Vietnam, in China, in Japan. It's not made in Norway. So don't go around and fool yourself, people. Asia will beat you any day, any time. And to go around and think you're smarter than the largest population in the world is not a good idea. So I will again say, yeah, that Brumunddal area and Ringsaker area is actually it's a farm area. They don't know much, they don't understand much, and they are crazy stubborn. It's just crazy. So with that, I will end this video and say thank you for everyone watching. And again, stay very, very clear of Ringsaker Kommune, stay clear of Ringsaker Barnevern, and stay clear of Brumunddal. It's totally crazy area, crazy people, and it's not a good place to be for adults or children. All the kindergartens and schools in Brumunddal have also a very bad reputation. It's not a good place for any children to grow up. So yeah, stay the hell away from that area. And that's it for me. Now you know the story, and you know how the Child Protection Services have harassed us with nothing. They had nothing to go on, but they could not stop. And that say a lot. That's a crazy much. So that's it. All right, goodbye, and enjoy the last view from Asia. Bye bye.